Welcome into the In the Money podcast for Friday, 21st. Tom Leach, along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's Director of Mutuals and Simulcasting. We'll take a look at the Friday feature and the late pick four. The features the Grade 3 Double Dog Dare Stakes at a mile and a 16th on the main track. Only a field of 5, but even though Unbridled Mo is odds-on the morning line, I think there's a couple others that have a shot. Who did you land on?
Yeah, I think Unbridled Mo's question is her best performances have been at tracks that we're not very familiar with. Remington Park, Sam Houston are her two biggest wins in a $200,000 stakes and then a Grade 3. So you wonder if that quality competition, if it switches to Keeneland. And the buyer figures fit, and if you just look at numbers, she is a standout here, and she's 4 to 5 morning line. So I think she's going to go as a favorite with Pletcher and Velasquez. The alternative, I think, is, in my mind, is Power of Summer for Joe Sharp. I think in the Azeri last time out at Oaklawn, just kind of had a even trip. Went off at 15 to 1, only got beat for 2.5 in a Grade 2. So there's nothing wrong with finishing behind Eskin for Money and Streamline. So you put those horses in this field, and they would be competitive with the Pletcher horse. So I think that Joe Sharp's horse has a shot here at an alternative price, but that, and I said Summer's Power of Snunner. I can't. Maybe that's a misprint, but I don't even know how to pronounce that. Power of Snunner. Unbridled Mo is the favorite. Twirl Girl looks like she's the only one who doesn't have a shot. Dear Lane and Lady Foghorn, you can make arguments on both of their behalf, especially Lady Foghorn finishing behind Romantic Vision and having a trip over the track. So I'm going to go with, at a little bit of a price, Power of Snunner for Joe Sharp and Mike Smith. Always a good idea to put your money on Mike Smith in a stakes race.
I am going to try to beat the big favorite in here, too, with Dear Lane. Small field, and so if there's a horse that figures to make an easy lead, I think that's always dangerous, and I think that could be Dear Lane. And I talked to Charlie DePresti for an interview for Keeneland social media on Wednesday in the paddock, and he said it's not normally his MO to run him back as quickly. She ran third in an allowance race opening weekend, but he said she's really doing well, and he noted that she really improved in her second start off the layoff last fall at Keeneland. So her second start over the track was a real big improvement. She's got 2 wins here, which I like. So I'm going to take Dear Lane and use her with Lady Foghorn and Unbridled Mo in exactas. Pick 4 starts in the 7th race on Friday. There's a $200,000 guarantee presented by TVG. My pick in the 7th race is Fat Man. I thought a couple of dirt races that show on the form stack up well here, and some good looks. But Coors Loot for Pletcher, I think you got to use. Glad to Be Here, the 5. Equator, the 8, I'm also going to use. So 4 deep in there. 8th race, taking a little bit of a price here with Recognition. I like the post toward the inside. Horses run well here, and Joe Bravo's done well with a limited number of starters, and he's in the saddle. Most Beautiful, I'm going to also use, and Lamontagne, if you pronounce that, or Matan, the 10, I will use as well. So 3, 2, 10 in there. Going to use Dear Lane and Unbridled Mo in the Double Dog Dare. And in the last race, a maiden turf race that's kind of wide open, Graham Motion's really got good numbers with debuters going long. So I'm going to use Intent to Strike. Also, On John, Kitten Solution, and Major Eclipse, which is a firster for Roger Adfield, but he can certainly have some success going long. So 8, 10, 11, 7 to wrap up my pick 4. So I'll go 4 by 3 by 2 by 4. How about you?
Well, one of the things that I noticed in the 7th race is that I hope Fat Man, I hope Luis Saez makes his weight, because I hate to see something in the scratches that says Fat Man is 2 pounds over. And that literally happened on Wednesday. We had a horse called Fat Daddy that ran, and he was 2 pounds over. I just thought that was kind of funny. So Fat Man is one of the picks in here, but I couldn't eliminate any horses. Like everyone I looked at, I thought, well, it's got a shot, and this one's got a shot. I settled on Coors Loot the 4 for Pletcher, simply because ran back, broke his maiden at 50, which is the limit here. These horses had to run for 50,000 or less, and then came back an optional 50 and finished 4th, first time against winners. So I think that he has an option to step up there. Gorse broke his maiden only to 32 at Tampa on the turf by 7 lengths. So has some ability there, but this is the first time on dirt. Glad to be here for Castellano and Canale. So those 3 are my top picks. So I'm going to go 3, 4, 5 in that race. In the 8th, I'm going to go Most Beautiful at 2 with Proctor and Giroux as my top pick. This is 4th time North America. It took a step back last time out, but ran behind Believe in Birdie at Gulfstream, which is a nice horse. And so I'm going to use him as my top pick, use her as my top pick, rather. And La Montagne, the 10, Rosario, and Ward. So I'm going to stick with 210 there. I'm going to use my 1-5 in the Double Dog Dare, which is Power of Snunner and Unbridled Mo. And I'm going to take all in the last. I didn't have a clue on this one. I hate to give out an opinion when I don't have one. So I think to cover the maiden special weight, I'm going to use all. There is a political exacta in this one called Make America Great and Grad, but that's just an opinion. So Kaliningrad, I guess, is the Russian horse. So if you feel like supporting Donald Trump, maybe you could box the 2-4. But I'm going to use all. So I'm going to go 3, 4, 5 with 210, with 1-5 with all.
Best of luck on your Friday wagers. And don't forget the late pick 4, $200,000 guarantee presented by TVG. And we'll be back to take a look at the Saturday card in our next edition of the End the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.